Bro. My bros at Making Kayfabe Podcast. Bro, you guys are after my own heart. You rebook wrestling history every Tuesday, bro. And this is me, Vince Russo. I am giving you guys a huge, I said huge shout out. And this is coming from, bro, the best booker / writer in the history of the business, regardless of what the marks will tell you. I cannot wait, bro, to listen to this week's episode. Book it like Russo. Bro, love you guys. Mad respect for you guys. Making Kayfabe Podcast, bro. You guys rule. Do it like Russo, bro. There ain't any other way.
Hey, guess what? It's time for Making Kayfabe with your hosts, Bryce and Dylan.
Hello, and welcome to a very special, very bonus edition of Making Kayfabe. Every week, we take a controversial wrestling storyline and rewrite it to make it great, but this week, we're not doing that. It's our second bonus episode in between season 2 and 3, and our first ever Book It Like Russo. But before we get to that, I want to introduce my guests today. That's right, guests. Today, we are going to find out what happens when a Scotsman, an Irishman, and an Englishman walk into a podcast. So, first of all, we have the man, the myth, the legend. He has made acceptable storylines out of Retribution, Right to Censor, Test, Sean O'Hare, the AEW Women's Division, and more. He is Reno's biggest fan. Who the fuck is Reno? A man with endless talent and a man who just has a little bit of hatred for The Miz. Most importantly, though, he is my friend, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Making Kayfabe co-host, Dylan Copeland. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm very excited about this.
You excited to book it like Russo?
Yeah. So I wrote mine as if I was Vince Russo, and I now realize that means that when I tell you all my story, that means I'm going to have to do a Vince Russo impression, which I didn't think about when I wrote this. So that's going to be something to look forward to.
Oh my god, I can't wait for that. Just like a generic kind of like New York, kind of like New York bro.
Hello, my name is Vince Russo.
Yes. Did we get Vince Russo on the podcast today? What happened? That was just like him. But...
Hello, Bryce. I am definitely Vince Russo.
And also,
I can do that voice. I think I'll stick with that voice. Yeah,
that's perfect. Yeah. You got a lot to look forward to, folks. And now we've got somebody who is also a myth, someone who has claimed to be a legend. He is a very talented illustrator and designer behind Blank Page Digital, and therefore the man who designed the incredible Making Kayfabe t-shirts, which you can get at makingkayfabe.redbubble.com. He is also my friend who recently got engaged to the lovely Sophia, so congratulations for that. And he is the person who tagged Joey Janela in one of our tweets, which led to Jelly calling us all absolute bottom-of-the-barrel wrestling geeks. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Tyler Mortimer.
Janela was right. He was right. What can I say? I'm the indie guy. I bring the indie wrestlers. That's what I do.
As it happens, Tyler's also a heel, so... Yeah.
Oh, God, you know what? I heard Dylan's intro and I was like, hype. I'm hype for Dylan, and I was like, I hope I get an intro which is on the same level. And like I'm the guy who draws. You know, your design for the t-shirt is better than mine. Like I'm a B+ player.
I'm just being modest, man. Like I mean, I didn't want to say, but you know. My drawing of Riho and Nyla Rose, who, it's definitely something.
It is, yeah. Like Bryce's picture is beautiful, but like your artwork, fucking ripped, dude, for the t-shirt. I was like, that's amazing. The only funny thing is, like, me and Bryce were talking about this, and other people who know me have also commented on this. Is that they're like, you've never worn a tie in your life. And I know it's because I'm supposed to be JR, but I just thought that was really funny.
It's the Bryce's t-shirt in the t-shirt, the Inception t-shirt, has gone through so many designs as well.
Oh,
there were so many different logos on that t-shirt, but we got there in the end. So
I'm so happy that it is like the current design because it's perfect. You know, it adds a lot to the it's a little hidden detail for people, but it makes it perfect, you know.
Exactly, and it's free great designs, and it's really cool to see them online and see people wearing them and stuff. But
I wasn't fishing for compliments, but that whole expedition was fantastic. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man, you absolutely nailed it. Get you back for season 3 maybe. So it was a hell of a draw, and really big fans of it. I just couldn't believe it when we saw it because it's everything we wanted and more. So yeah, thanks for that, man. But yeah, I'm Bryce, your humble host, and folks, it's time to explain exactly what Book It Like Russo will entail, or at least what it's like half planned to be. So, like I say, on a normal non-bonus episode, we'd be rebooking the monstrosities of wrestling to make them a bit better. Today, however, we're going to take a bit of influence from everyone's favourite Vinny Roo, and we're going to turn these storylines into what we would imagine Vinny Russo would have booked him like, as we book it like Russo. So maybe there'll be on a pole matches, maybe there'll be gimmicks on top of gimmicks, maybe there'll be a bro here, a bro there, but certainly we are going to have 3 mini storylines booked today with Russo influence. So Vince Russo, of course, is a famous / infamous wrestling booker who started on the WWF writing team during the Attitude Era to, let's be honest, at least reasonable critical acclaim. One of the things I always enjoyed about Russo, especially in WWF, was his kind of mentality that every member of the roster should have some kind of a story going on, basically a reason to be. That's from main event right down to opener, and despite all that's said about him, I do respect that about Russo. And while we're keeping it positive, I remember watching a shoot interview a few years ago where Russo, he booked the WCW invasion of WWF, and it's clear to me that the guy, he can write a good story. Of course, however, not everyone says that, so with the shoe on the other foot, he does, of course, have his haters who say that he contributed hugely to the downfall of WCW. They say that his car crash style of booking puts a huge emphasis on shock value, favouring swerves over actual in-ring interaction, often making no sense, and was infamously influenced by reality TV. Essentially, he wanted that person switching channels on a Monday night to stop on WWF or WCW, whoever he was booking for at that time, and ask, what the fuck is that? And we're gonna try and emulate that today in a kind of tongue-in-cheek sort of fashion. We'll take it in turns, taking a few minutes to outline what did happen, and then go into a mini storyline where we try to make it more Russo-esque. So, without further ado, should we go for it, lads?
Let's do it.
I'm just upset that you said he was responsible for the downfall of WCW.
I said some say.
He said some people consider him to be the downfall of WCW, which I don't necessarily agree with either, because I think, because after Vince Russo left, it still wasn't great, but also still wasn't doing bad enough to get taken off the television either. You know what I mean? Like that, Vince Russo being there wasn't the reason that WCW went under. I
mean, no, it wasn't like it's a lot of people I think had some fingers in the pie for the downfall of WCW. I do think Russo contributed in some way with his wacky storylines and with all the shit that he had, that people were watching and then saw it and then didn't watch because what was on WWF was better. So like he definitely lost viewers, I think. So it was something like that, yeah.
He's a hero. I'm gonna be the heel. I'm gonna be the heel in this episode. And Vince Russo, he's responsible for some of the greatest things in wrestling, hands down.
I again would like to disagree with that. I don't think Vince Russo had anything to do with CM Punk. Clearly, the greatest thing to ever happen to wrestling.
But Judy Bagwell on a pole, I mean, like...
Yeah, they're both pretty similar, aren't they, on the greatness scale?
That's like the second best thing, right? Oh, dear. All right, folks, let's book it like Russo. Yeah. So, I'll start us off, so... straight up, so we'll do this in the order of Bryce, Tyler, then Dylan. I'll start us off, and so straight up, the storyline I've chosen today is the Vince McMahon illegitimate child storyline. So, I'm going to do a very brief history of the storyline, and then I'll rebook it like Russo. So, In 2007, quite a lot of things happened in WWE. It's something that we've actually gone into already in depth with our season 2 premiere. Vince McMahon blows up, but in storyline, Vince fakes his own death in a limo explosion, and he resurfaced on Raw shortly afterwards. So they quickly dropped the whole death storyline after something incredibly serious happened in real life involving Chris Benoit. Perhaps the less said about that, the better. But essentially, it led to Jonathan Coachman informing Vince that a certain mystery offspring of his has a claim to Vince's fortunes. So that led to a few weeks of teasing big reveals and a storyline that, to be honest, was actually quite intriguing, but then was revealed to be dumb as fuck shortly afterwards. So soon it's basically whittled down to the fact that Vince McMahon's illegitimate son was on the WWE roster. What are the chances of that? So the brief storyline, it ended with Vince McMahon in the ring, surrounded by the WWE roster, being told that one of these men was his illegitimate son. And around the ring, you had guys like Kane, like Cody Rhodes, Trevor Murdoch, etc. And it basically fell down to like a Guess Who style game, where a lawyer appeared in the Titantron and gave like clues about the identity of which person at ringside was Vince's son. So like literally, it would say a clue, and then like some people would walk away and say another clue, then other people walk away, and then just. But yeah, the first clue was your illegitimate son is not extreme. Meaning that everyone on the ECW roster should leave. So obviously ECW is around at that time. The second clue was your son has a fondness for gold, which meant that anyone who isn't a current champion or a former champion should stay. The third clue was your son's skin is fair, as is his hair, meaning that it's a white guy with blonde hair, basically. So this actually, I was watching the segment earlier on today, and it led to like a surreal series of characters in the ring once everyone else has been kind of eliminated, because it boils down to Vince McMahon being joined in the ring by Triple H, JBL, and the fucking Sandman for ECW. So yeah, like that was a really weird thing to see. But the final clue was your son loves to play the game. So this leaves just Triple H and Vince in the ring. But then the lawyer continues, he does love to play the game, whether that game be hide and seek, horseshoes, or marbles. Things are looking up, Mr. McMahon, but not for you, for your son, Hornswoggle. And yeah, like Hornswoggle was revealed to be Vince's illegitimate son. Very funny. They teased a bit of incest with Triple H potentially being his son, and then brought out the midgets. So that's kind of the staple for WWE television in 2007. And then it was even later revealed that Hornswoggle wasn't actually Vince's son anyway. It was Fit Finlay's son, making the whole thing a gigantic waste of time. And I'm pretty convinced that I can make it worse. So, gentlemen, if you allow me, I'm going to book it like Russo.
Go. Okay, hold on, wait. You said they teased a little incest, and that already wasn't a Russo idea?
Well, yeah, right, exactly. I mean,
okay.
I think we've just already discovered where Bryce's storyline is going to go.
That was my storyline. What are you talking about?
Just casually tease a bit of incest and then reveal the illegitimate midget child.
You got to get those ratings, bro. You got to get those ratings. All right, I'm going to boot this like Russo. So here we go. So the centerpiece of the story is undoubtedly Vince McMahon. So it's clear now that he's been doing a bit of cheating on poor Linda. Hilariously, like we know this is true anyway, because in the past, I'm pretty sure I remember Vince being involved in storyline alone, hopefully, with women like Trish Stratus, Stacey Keibler, Tori Wilson, etc. But yeah, very clearly Vince is fucked up somehow, bro. So we're gonna have Vince come out on week 1, and he's gonna just deny everything, bro. Deny everything. He's gonna say that he's never had anything approaching an extramarital affair, that he's been nothing but loyal to his wife Linda. He loves nobody but Linda. He's gonna say more, bro, but before he does, we're gonna get Shane McMahon coming out. And he's angry as hell. He's got a steel chair, bro, and he's threatening to hit Vince with it for cheating on his mother. But before he does, we're going to get Stephanie coming out. So she's in tears as she walks down to the ring, bro, and we're going to have Triple H, the loyal husband, by her side. She stops Shane from attacking Vince by standing in the way, but Triple H does nothing, but he's just staring a hole in Vince, basically. So Vince, he's still got a mic, and he points to Shane saying, whoever my illegitimate son is, I know he's damn well going to be a better son than you. My illegitimate son wouldn't throw a chair at his old man, Shane. I disown you as my son. So, getting a bit of that reality TV drama into it. So, Shane's is once again going to try and attack Vince with the chair, but then he's interrupted by the anonymous Raw general manager. So, remember that storyline, Michael Cole. But yeah, Michael Cole, he's going to get up in the podium and he's going to read off his computer screen because, you know, the anonymous Raw general manager, he sent an email. The anonymous Raw general manager says, you can disown your son, Shane, as much as you want, but it doesn't change the fact that your illegitimate son will be revealed. And as it happens, I, the anonymous Raw general manager, bear in mind it's literally a fucking laptop at this stage, I have the DNA test results that will show you exactly who your son is, Mr. McMahon. So Triple H gets on the microphone and he says, hey, I want those DNA results so we can put an end to this whole thing. Give them to me. So obviously Triple H maybe a bit worried about a little bit of incest as we're discussing there. So maybe a little bit concerned, you know. Vince says, Vince grabs the mic as well, and he says, you know, how the hell did you get my DNA? And regardless, you know, I don't want those DNA tests to be revealed. Give them to me. So the GM says, we got your urine sample from the company-wide test a couple of weeks ago. Trust me, you don't want me to reveal what else we found in there. It'll be like 1993 all over again. But I'm going to step out for now. I'm going to let you two gentlemen, Triple H and Mr. McMahon, sort this out between yourselves. And so now, bro, we have the DNA test results. And we have two guys who feel very differently about them. We've got Triple H, who wants the DNA test results to be revealed to the world because, you know, like I say, he's maybe starting to fear that he's Vince's son. And at the same time, we've got Vince McMahon, bro, who will do everything that he possibly can to stop these results going public. So this shit writes itself, bro. We're going to have a match. Triple H versus Vince McMahon. But there's more. Because I tell you what the anonymous Raw general manager is going to do, bro. We're going to take that DNA test result and we're going to stick it high above the ring on a pole, bro. I swear to God, the marks are going to love it. And that's not even all. Because this ain't no regular DNA test on a pole match, bro. This is different.
Test on a pole match?
We're going to surround the ring by 16 feet of steel and a steel case to stop any interference, bro. And so there we have it. It's Vince McMahon versus Triple H in a steel cage DNA test on a pole match. In order to win the match, either McMahon or the game, they have to climb that pole and take down the DNA test results. Then they can do whatever the hell they want with it. You know, maybe Triple H will reveal to the world who it is. Maybe Vince will, you know, rip it in half. You know, who knows? But because we're booking it like Russo 2, we're going to just stick that in our episode of Raw a week from now because we've got to pop that rating, bro. And, bro, we're going to have this match in the main event of Raw. And it's going to last less than 2 minutes, bro. Because Triple H, he pulls the DNA test result off the pole. He opens the envelope, and let me tell you, bro, there's that look of abject shock across his face right now. He cannot believe what he is reading. So he drops the DNA test result to the ground. The camera gets a big close-up on the results, and bro, we're going to find out who the bastard son of Vince McMahon is right now. The DNA test results reveal that the bastard son of Vince McMahon is
Vince Russo.
Vince McMahon's own mother, bro. You ever seen Back to the Future, bro? The Marks are going to love that shit, I'm telling you. Vince's mother is going to bring her 100-year-old ass down to the ring and explain the whole thing to the world. She's going to explain how she, Mr. McMahon's mother, is actually Vince's illegitimate son. But as she gets to the ring, bro, we're going to turn the lights off in the building. We're going to turn them back on. And then we've got The Undertaker and Paul Bearer in the ring. Undertaker, he grabs Vince by the throat. He choke slams him. He gives Triple H the big boot, bro. Triple H falls out of the ring. And then we've got Undertaker. We're going to get Undertaker to tombstone pile drive Vince McMahon's mother. There's utter carnage and destruction in the ring as Taker and Bearer stand tall. Paul Bearer's going to get on the microphone, bro, and he's going to say, Vince McMahon, I know a thing or two about having complications in the family. Give me a call if you want to talk. and that's it. If Vince had booked the Vince Russo had booked the illegitimate son angle, I think it would have gone down something like that.
I mean, there's a lot of twists and turns in there. I really like that.
Did you see it coming, bro?
No, because I legit, I thought you were gonna say Vince Russo was Vince McMahon's son, thereby making Vince Russo now Vince McMahon. So there would be two Vince McMahons in the company.
Oh my god,
man, that's not terrible anything right there. Like,
but also that would have put Russo on television, thereby proving that he is a mark for the business as well.
That's actually a good point. That's something I didn't do in my storyline, because Vince Russo does involve himself in his storylines physically, so that's something I didn't do there. But yeah, that would be that's a better ending. Damn it!
There's so much to unpack.
There's a lot going on. Yeah.
I mean, I'm lost for words, really.
To be fair, like I think you did do a very good job of booking it like Russo, because it got like very complicated and like very busy in such a short like space of time. And then, like you said, it was the main event of Raw, so like they're just kind of like throw it away and then do something else next week, you know, like it's a very very like quick booking the way Russo would have done, you know.
Exactly. So like that's my attempt at booking it like Russo. So maybe we'll put up a poll on the Twitter perhaps after the episode goes live and see whose Russo booking is better. So, but
bro.
All right. So, bro. So guest star Tyler of Blank Page Digital. Would you want to go next, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, I want to start off by saying I am not a traditional storyteller, unlike my colleagues here in the podcast, and this is my podcast debut. And you guys sent me the instructions that clearly read, book it like Russo. I have interpreted this through my own artistic way as just book Russo's life. I'm
Russo.
Yeah, just book Russo, and you know, I'm going to cover a fairly recent story, the failure that was Raw Underground, which was in no uncertain terms an abject failure for WWE. WWE are going through the post-COVID no audience phase of Monday Night Raw. They're not allowed to have people at the side of the ring. So Shane announces he's going to make a huge announcement on Raw, and no one knows what it was. And Shane is, he's still, the mark's still popped for Shane. So whenever he turns up and does his like sexy sneaker dance, like everyone's like, what? Shane's
So
going to do something. So everyone's kind of sitting eagerly watching Monday Night Raw, getting bored out of their minds because they haven't started pumping in crowd noises yet. Because that changes it. They haven't done the Thunderdome. They're not pumping in live cams yet. It's just like quiet.
It was just silence. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And up pops Shane McMahon, and he announces he stood right in this ring with no ropes, surrounded by like maybe like 25 wrestlers from like a mix of mainly NXT talent and like upcoming training talent, but there's a couple of like recognizable faces. I mean, the only marked difference between this and a normal kind of WWE presentation is there's no ropes. They're in a warehouse which is just full of like rubbish, like trash, and everyone's wearing wife beaters for some reason. Everyone's got vests on, and it's got this kind of like earthy brown kind of look to it. And stood in the middle of the ring is Shane McMahon, and he announces Raw Underground. But what he forgets to do is say anything about what Raw Underground is, or what Raw Underground is about. And he introduces it's Dabba Kato. He's like an NXT guy. He's like, yeah, this is Dabba Kato. Just gives him like this amazing intro, kind of like the one you gave Dylan and not me. And then like there's this other guy in the ring, and he's wearing a wife beater as well, and he's got like his hands like bare knuckle taped up and his feet bare knuckle taped up, and he's saying like he basically just turns to this guy and he goes, I'm not going to introduce you. you just get on with yourself kind of thing. And he gets out of the ring and they fight, and it looks like this weird kind of shoot style MMA type fight, or it's like it's the worst scripted, not meant to be scripted fighting that you've ever seen. And Dabba-Kato tosses this guy out of the ring after he's done with him, and everyone around the ring cheers, but it's kind of muffled because they're all wearing face masks. And then it just kind of cuts back to the normal show, and everyone was like, well, what's that? And it continued to do this for like maybe 4 or 5 weeks. Just Raw Underground keeps popping up. No one explains anything about what Raw Underground is or what they're even fighting for. Braun Strowman turns up at one point and he does his big kind of Raw thing, which he does on Raw. The only difference is it's kind of murky in this warehouse full of rubbish, and everyone's wearing wife beaters, and Braun Strowman is now wearing a wife beater as well. The Hurt Business turned up, like Shelton Benjamin. Like there was this one episode where like the Hurt Business squash everyone in Raw Underground. Shayna Baszler turns up, and you kind of think like, hold on, maybe this is interesting because Shayna Baszler is MMA, and they could do some kind of shoot fighting thing here. But it doesn't work. Eventually, it gets shut down. WWE want you to believe that it's because the COVID mixing pools weren't working, and they didn't want to mix talent between each other so no one caught COVID. But what we really know is it's just a flat-out failure. But it's not a failure unless it's a Russo failure, right? You guys say that Vince Russo is the worst thing about wrestling. If there's one thing that Russo does best, it's being the worst. And I'm here to rebook it in the true glory of the burning phoenix that is Vince Russo, my boy. So I'm gonna, so it starts exactly the same way, right? Somewhere in America, there is a ring with Shane McMahon in it. He steps up, the cameras come on, the audience get their first glimpse of Raw Underground, this new yet slightly dusty product. And in his best middle-aged Fight Club, Tyler Durden referencing speech, he says, "Welcome to Raw Underground. This is new and exciting because I'm Shane McMahon. Look at my feet. I do a dance." And in comes to the ring Dabba-Kato, and he's massive. Like, this dude is legit huge, and he's like, I'm not even going to introduce this guy because he's about to get squashed. This is real. This is shoot fighting, right? Shane doesn't even get out of the ring, right? Kato just destroys this dude, and Shane just stands watching, and he's like Vince McMahon looking at money, excited like about this guy just crushing this dude. Kato throws the guy out, and he goes, "This is Raw Underground, right? And we're going to fix this straight off the bat. We're here to fight. We're not here to win props. We're here to shoot, brother." And then it cuts to Raw, right? And somewhere in New York, in a dingy, slightly moist apartment, is a white-bearded Vince Russo staring at his computer screen with a mound of cocaine next to him, buzzing his little eyeballs out. And he's just staring at the screen, slowly under his breath going, "Bro. Bro." And he picks up his computer screen, he smashes it against the wall, he shouts for his wife who's not in because she's never home, and he takes his phone and he immediately gets on Twitter, right? And he starts live streaming on Twitter, and he is going crazy, right? Shane McMahon has stolen my shoot fighting gimmick. He's trying to rip me off. Like, WWE has finally tried to steal the best things about what make me Russo. This is bullshit. I won't have it. Like, his internet tantrum starts trending in the wrestling Twitter, right? Which is this super toxic place. Everyone's like, "Fuck Vince Russo. I love Vince Russo. Fuck Vince." And it's gone haywire, right? And WWE are like, well, we needed to pop a rating with this. Maybe maybe we should call Russo. Maybe we should hit him up, right? So next week, Raw is on the air, right? We keep getting flashes of this Raw Underground thing, right? Like Shane McMahon's doing his little dance at the side of the no like ropes ring. All these like wrestlers are trying to shoot fight each other and make it not look scripted, but Dolph's doing work punches, and it's just not looking that good. And it cuts back to it's a final segment of Raw, and it cuts back to Shane in the ring. And he's standing there going like, this is shooting, brother. We're just going to fight each other. This isn't about gimmicks or blah, blah, blah. And then you just, all the lights go out and you just hear, bro, right? Around the ring, everyone's like looking around going, what's going on? What's going on? And then from a rope descending from the ceiling with some full uplighting, is Vince Russo with his arms spread out like Jesus, descending to the ring. And he's like, his eyes tell you the story of how much cocaine he's taken, right? Like you can see he is just like insanely angry. He gets down to the ring and struggles to take the little grip off that's kind of descended him to the ring, and then just decides to give up and just start like work punching McMahon, right? Shane and Vince Russo are going at it. He's like, you stole my gimmick. You know, this internet feud is finally paying off, right? The WWE have listened to the fans, right? And like he cuts Shane open the hard way, and and Shane's like trying to crawl away. Dabba-Kato picks Vince Russo up by his hair and throws him out of the ring. Chaos everywhere. Raw cuts to black, right? Logo comes up. You can hear the sound of what's going on, but you can't see anything, right? And it's just people screaming, Russo shouting like, bro, 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 bro. No one knows what's happening. Like, no one knows if it's a shoot, if it's a work, what's going on. Like, why was Vince Russo descending from the ceiling like Jesus? No one knows what's going on, right? Twitter, Wednesday, Vince Russo. He puts up an apology. He says, my actions, they weren't me. I wasn't myself. I was angry. I turned up on Monday Night Raw and I did something that I haven't done in a long time, and I got involved in the business, a business that hates me, a business that doesn't want me there. And I know this Raw Underground thing, it's kind of like my thing. So next week I'm going to explain my actions. That's it. Russo out, bro. Right? Cuts to Monday. The internet has been waiting, right? Everyone's tuned into Raw. They are popping those ratings. Somewhere in gorilla position, Vince McMahon is rubbing his stomach because he just ate $12 billion for lunch that he does. And Raw opens, and there it is, right? Vince Russo on a fold-out metal chair in the middle of the Raw Underground ring. And he says, look, I'm not happy with you doing this. I'm not happy with you stealing shoot fighting from me. And I know the only way that I'm ever gonna kind of be able to redeem myself as a wrestling persona and as a wrestling personality is to get involved, and it's something I promised I wouldn't do. I didn't want to get back involved with wrestling, but Shane, you have forced my hand. Ooh. So what we're gonna do next week is we're gonna have a match. Not me and you. I'm not booking myself into this. This is an old Vince Russo. This is a new Vince Russo. I'm bringing my guy. You bring your Dabba-Kato one-on-one in a wrestling ropes on the wrestling poles match. So, cut to next week, and we're introduced to Raw Underground, but this time it's a little different. There are ropes around the ring. There are ropes on the poles, right? Shane comes out. Pff, screw this guy. We kicked Russo out before. We can do it again. I tell you what, Russo, since you love gimmicks, let's just add one more gimmick to this match. It's something my dad really likes, and if we're going to embarrass you, let's embarrass you properly. Hair versus hair. My hair versus your hair in a ring ropes on the pole match. Russo comes out, bro, whatever. It's fine, right? They go to either side of the ring. It's just them. Vince is worried about the COVID pools, so it's Shane on one side of the ring, Russo on the other. Dabba-Kato's music hits. He comes in his wife beater. He walks up to the ring and he looks legit a monster, right? He's stacked. He's like pumped. He's foaming at the mouth, right? And Russo goes, your guy, yeah. He's not a champion though, is he? Never been a champion. Music hits and out walks David Arquette.
Oh.
Now fully formed indie wrestler with like stacked muscles. His boy, his long-term booking project, David Arquette, rocks up to the ring, jumps over the ropes, walks straight up to Dabba-Kato's face and stares him out. He's no fear. He's not celebrity Hollywood anymore. He's a professional wrestler. He's got the moves, and the match plays out as you expect. It's David versus Goliath, except everyone's popping over the fact that David Arquette can actually wrestle now. No one expects it. Ultimately, the folded metal chair comes into play, and Russo goes to take out Kato with the chair, and Shane steps in the way, puts down Russo. David Arquette, sobbing like a small child over Vince Russo, goes, bro, what's happened? Like, he's bleeding everywhere. Bro, stay with me, bro. It's like, whatever. Kato picks him up, fully smashes him, pins him. Shane counts it. 1, 2, 3. Shane looks over at Russo. He's got the clippers in his hands, and he mauls him, right? It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for Russo. It's being streamed live on Twitter on Russo's own phone by Dabba-Kato. It's hard to watch. It's a mixture of blood and shaving foam and hair, and he's bald as the day is long, and he never lives it down. The next week, Raw Underground goes on its terrible, horrible ways. We never really hear from Vince Russo again. But then 6 months later, we see from Vince Russo again for the first time. He's kind of embraced his new bald look. His hair is completely gone. He's shaved his head completely bald. His eyes are wired like a cocaine fox. And he goes, look, my little stint back in the business has reignited something in me and something in my friend and partner, David Arquette. We're going to bring back something to fight the McMahons. We're going to bring back a wrestling staple that you have all missed, that only I can create. We're bringing back Celebrity Deathmatch, starring David Arquette. And he gets into a ring with no ropes, and he stands in the middle, and he looks directly in the camera, and he says, let's get it on, bro. End of story.
I mean, there's a lot going on with that one.
Oh my god, my jaw's still on the floor with that David Arquette reveal. My god, that's incredible.
I think one really notable thing about this that proves that this is booking like Russo is that the majority of this storyline involves two non-wrestlers.
Yeah.
Very, very much like Russo. He's like, yeah, keep people don't watch wrestling for the wrestling.
No, they want the drama. They want that Jerry Springer shit.
Yeah.
That is honestly great. See, to be honest, that is the annoying thing is that's a really good story. I'd watch that. I would really watch that.
Parts of it where I was like, at first I'm like, all right, I don't know about this, but then getting into it, you're like, oh, okay, it does sound interesting. I gotta say,
like just describing Vince Russo as a cocaine fox has made my day.
I love that. On his cocaine trip, that he was coming down to the ring like Jesus as well, like being suspended from the ceiling.
When I thought of that idea, I was like, why? Am I going to pay this off later? And then I realized, doesn't matter. Vince Russo.
You don't have to explain anything.
Don't have to explain it.
But also, it kind of makes sense in the end as well, because David Arquette, he has been on a bit of a tour before COVID, before kind of like redeeming himself, right? I mean, he was doing like death matches, and he was doing like, I can't remember.
Have you seen the documentary, You Can't Kill David Arquette?
I've not.
You need to watch it. It's him just going around the Mexico circuit. He even like wrestles in the street for cars that are passing by. Guy's a champ, man. Like, I full on respect David Arquette now.
Total respect. Like, he doesn't need to do that. Like, he does not need to do that, but he loves wrestling.
Yeah. Like, and that's and you know what? You know who else loves wrestling? Vince Russo. He just loves it differently. You know, some people make soft, kissy missionary sex to wrestling. Vince Russo, that's not his gig. He likes to tie it up and slap it around a little, you know.
He fucks it right in the ass. Yeah.
Who are we to judge? You know, who are we to judge what people get off? I feel
taking
like
a strange turn all of a sudden.
Yeah. So that's you know, vote for me on the book it like Russo on a pole match.
I mean, I'm gonna have to put a poll up now. That just has to go up on a poll now. So you know, because on a poll, Twitter poll and a poll match, yeah, like
a Twitter poll and a poll match.
Twitter poll and a poll, right? So, all right, so that's two Russo bookings so far. My friend Dylan, making kayfabe co-host. I've heard you writing a bazillion fantastic stories in the past. So with Book It and Russo in mind, what are you planning to fuck up today?
Let me just say, after hearing both you guys do yours, I have a feeling that I have not written enough.
I feel like I went over time. I'm sorry.
Yours are both really good, and mine's just like a little chapter in like Vince Russo's autobiography, you know. So, imagine it like that, like he's looking back on it, you know, and then I'll do
reminiscing.
I'll do the little Vince Russo voice that I did earlier.
So
it'll be like an audiobook, you know. But we're going to be talking about the Austin 316 moment where Steve Austin won the King of the Ring and cut that infamous promo. I'm sure a lot of the people listening to this show already know what the Austin 316 thing is. But in the finals of the King of the Ring in 1996, Steve Austin, who had just kind of got rid of the ringmaster name, and I don't know if he was Stone Cold Steve Austin at that point, but he was, you know, trying to reinvent himself again. And in the finals, he was fighting Jake Roberts, well-respected wrestling personality. We all know Jake the Snake. But at that point, Jake the Snake, you know, having a couple of problems, shall we say. He was cutting a lot of strange, like, religious promos at the time, and Steve Austin beat Jake Roberts in the King of the Ring finals and cut a promo of his own that says, you know, Jake Roberts, you talk about your this and your that, your John 3:16. Well, Austin 3:16 says, I just kicked your ass. And that became very famous. It was, you know, everywhere, every single arena, every single TV show for years, you would see an Austin 3:16 sign in the audience. You know, it was very famous. You could say that was the turning point for Steve Austin, because after that, he went on to have feuds and famous matches with the likes of Owen and Bret Hart, for example, and it eventually kind of, you know, accumulated in a match at WrestleMania against Shawn Michaels in 1998, and that, you know, a lot of that was all because of the Austin 3:16 promo. So I'm gonna try to rebook it like Vince Russo would do. It's very funny that the Austin 3:16 signs would remain so popular with the fans. You know, the fans really eat it up, which is kind of ironic given how strict some Americans are about the Bible. You know, they're pretty like. I mean, I looked it up, man. I checked the Bible. I couldn't find Austin 3:16 anywhere.
What?
I think he made that up.
I don't know, man. I have you got your source for that? Like, what?
It's not in the King James version of the Bible. Let me tell you that.
Like, I've been watching wrestling since I could speak, and I'm pretty sure that Austin 3:16 has been a pretty constant part of my life. So it's got to be in there somewhere.
Exactly.
Well, maybe Austin wrote his own book. I don't see it in the Bible. Maybe that was one of the books they cut out. You know, they cut a couple of the books out of the Bible.
Then well, I have officially heard more of Austin's book than I have the actual Bible. So now I'm just questioning a whole lot.
Yeah, dude, if I were you, like, I read the Bible, it's super long. It's not that funny, man.
Does Vince Russo descend from the sky?
If you've ever read, well, I'll tell you what, man. The last book in the Bible is called Revelations, and that's the best one because all sorts of crazy shit happens. It's almost as if Vince Russo did book it.
Well, yeah, because like, going back to Going back to the Mordecai episode, I did a lot of kind of research into like quotes in the Bible and stuff, and like we revealed in the Mordecai episode that the Bible actually does talk about zombies. So like it is literally in the book. The zombies are in the book of the Bible. So yeah, why not Austin 3:16, right?
Right. Well, I couldn't find it anyway, but I'll give it another read later on. Maybe I just missed it. I mean, I was very sleepy when I read it.
It's on page 316.
Oh snap!
It isn't. It actually totally isn't. Anyway, stop. We're not talking about the fucking Bible, all right?
Does anyone know what John 3:16 is? Like, so we can compare quotes.
I fucking used to know it, but I forgot it. It was like, I believe it was John 3:16 was I just kicked your ass.
John 3:16 is apparently, for God so loved the world as to give his only begotten Son, that whosoever belief in him may not perish, but may have life everlasting. So,
and that's Jake Roberts.
Yeah, basically Jake Roberts or Austin 3:16. So, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're doing Book It Like Bible next week, so it's fine.
I want to be part of that. Okay, sorry, we have digressed. I'm sorry, Dylan. We ran into your time.
Wow. No, listen, keep all those thoughts in your head because I'm about to tell you my booking for the whole beginning of the Steve Austin angle, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to do it in the Vince Russo voice I did earlier. That's okay? Okay.
All right, go.
Listen, bro. Okay, so there's this guy on the roster called Steve Austin, okay, bro? So he's pretty cool. People seem to be digging him. They're really getting into him, bro. He got rid of his stupid Ringmaster name or the Shockmaster or whatever it was. You get it, bro. Now he's Steve Austin, and he's at the King of the Ring, 1996, okay? So he fights Jake Roberts in the final, yeah? And then so he wins, bro. Okay? So he's the King of the Ring. Steve Master. Ring Shocker Steve. So Ring Shocker Steve I was so pleased with, but anyway. I had to put it in. So he gets on the mic, bro, and he talks about your John 3:16s, and then get this, bro. Then he says, well, Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass. And the crowd goes nuts, bro. They go ape shit. I swear to God, bro, I never heard a crowd like it. Although, later on, I did definitely hear crowds like it. And also, I wasn't actually there at the King of the Ring when it happened, so I don't actually know how loud it was personally, but I heard it was good. So he does the whole thing, the Austin 3:16, and I had a brainwave, bro. I gotta tell you. Right then and there, I knew. I could see the whole thing, bro, like it was real, right in front of my eyes. I knew what had to be done. I'm no artist, bro, but what I did that day, as soon as I saw that, I swore to God, bro, I got a pen and paper, and I drew a picture, okay? So I drew it out, what was in my head, and then the next day, I went to Vince McMahon, and I said, look, bro, there's something here with that Austin kid, bro. And Vince said, yes, I know. That's why I had him win the King of the Ring tournament. and I say, yeah, but where does he go now? And Vince said to me, I swear to God, bro, he looked me straight in the eye and he said, well, we're going to build him up as a babyface anti-hero and the crowd will love it. And I said, no, bro, you got to listen to me here. Look at this. And I showed him the paper. So there's Austin, right? And he's wearing this big Pope hat. That's what I drew, bro. So he's wearing the big Pope hat because he did the Austin 3:16, and now he's a religious guy, okay? So Vince stops me right there. He says, stop right there, pal. But I'm in the zone, okay? So I'm not going to listen to this old man trying to shut me down right here. I have to go for it, you know? I have to shoot my shot. I got to tell him that his way of thinking doesn't work anymore. Nobody wants to see another traditional wrestler right there. But you dress a guy up like the Pope, now that'll get you some views. So Austin comes to the ring in a big robe and a big Pope hat, and he has a big stick like the one the Pope has, okay? But then when he wrestles, he takes the robe off, and he's wearing tights or whatever, but he wrestles in the big Pope hat all the time, okay? So he's always wearing the big Pope hat. If it falls off during a match, he has to stop everything and go and get it and then put it back on because it's part of the gimmick, bro. So we could put bricks in the hat, okay? So when he headbutts a guy, it's not like a headbutt. It's really just a hat full of bricks. And then he can use the Pope stick to hit people with. It just works. It just makes sense. So Vince McMahon says no, but I told Austin to do it anyway. And then Austin told me I was a stupid motherfucker. And I swear to God, bro, at that point, I was just going to walk away. Okay? I wanted nothing to do with any of it. I've had enough. That's harassment in the workplace, you know? I was just trying to do my job. I was like, bro, I've had enough. But then I thought, what would Jesus do? Would Jesus just give up? No. He would turn Steve Austin into the Pope. So I reasoned with Austin. I reasoned with Vince, and eventually they relented, and so we got Stone Pope Steve Austin. Also, later on, we dropped the Stone bit. so, okay. So Pope Steve Austin has a feud with Bret Hart, okay? Bret is like, I don't want to do this, but I told him it would be funny, and also he had to do it. So the storyline is okay. So
Sorry.
So the storyline is Pope Steve Austin kidnaps Bret Hart's son, okay? I mean, it makes sense, bro. Bret didn't like it, but I was all, what would the real Pope do in this situation, huh? Kidnap your kid. And Bret had to reluctantly agree. So the Pope steals Bret's kid, and in retaliation, Bret steals Austin's Pope hat. Pope Steve Austin he feels naked without the big Pope hat, right? He needs the Pope hat. So what's the best way to resolve this problem? I think we all know. Obviously, we have a Pope Steve Austin's big Pope hat on a pole match at WrestleMania, okay? Now, you're probably asking yourself, why is this happening? And like, it's obvious, bro. It's happening because WrestleMania is the best place to put on a big match like this, yeah? So, the match happens, and like, Austin comes out, but he doesn't have his big Pope hat on, bro. So, get this. He has a replacement hat, but it's really crappy looking, okay, bro? So crappy looking. So the crowd is laughing. They're all like, look at this guy. And he's really pissed off, bro, okay? So, like, total motivation right there. It all makes sense. So, during the match, Austin just starts beating the hell out of Bret with his big Pope stick, all right? I'm talking like 40 hits with a stick because that looks really cool, all right, bro? And then he climbs up the pole and he gets up onto like a little podium where his Pope hat is, and he picks up the Pope hat, and remember, it's full of bricks, all right, bro? So he puts it on, and then he does a moonsault off the platform onto Bret Hart, okay? It looks incredible, bro. The people are going crazy. And then Bret Hart rolls over into a schoolboy and he wins the match. I should have said the match only ends by pinfall, bro. I mean, that's obvious. It's a wrestling match, right? So there you go. Austin's got loads of heel heat on him because he hit Bret like 40 times with that stick. But then Bret looks good as a plucky babyface because he kind of won in the face of adversity. See, it all makes sense, bro. But then here's the twist. Austin doesn't give Bret his kid back. And it's the kayfabe it, bro. So now the kid is like Austin's kid or whatever. And then, so there's loads of places you can go with it, bro. Best storyline. So that's that.
Oh my god. I've got so much to unpack there.
I thought that when we were doing Book It Like Russo, it was about making storylines worse. And when you said you're gonna book Austin, I was like, that's easy. Like Austin is the best like there ever is. So making it worse is very easy. We'll just whatever. But that was better. That's everything that was everything I love about Vince Russo.
The Pope hat?
I want that to happen. Like I want to go back in time and change shit. I'm in awe of everything that just happened. It was like it was like Russo was whispering the dreams I've been having in my ear, and incredible. That wow. Just
I mean, Pope Austin, like we need that, like that.
Austin.
Austin can still go, man. Like he can come back with that gimmick. Like, never say never.
Austin stealing a child dressed as the Pope. Like, I don't want to say he's on a tear because that would be weird, but wow.
Don't forget that he also did a moonsault off a thing, and like nobody remembers that bit.
No, not important, actually.
Yeah. it's the most spectacular thing in the whole story.
That was never let Vince Russo work for me, because if he talked to me like that, he'd get whatever he wants.
Oh, right. So
I feel like, actually, in honor of that story, I'm gonna have to draw Stone Pope Steve Austin, like, as an image, and I'll send it over to you guys to share with the episode.
Yes, 100%. Like, I will. Wait, we'll put that image up. Absolutely. We'll put it as the teaser of the episode. So when we say the episode's being announced, you see a Pope Stone Cold, people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But guys, that was really fun.
I might have to draw Vince Russo as the child.
Yeah, little baby Russo.
It's not getting creepy at all.
Right. So that was bonus episode number 2. Look at like Russo. You got your money's worth today, folks. I will put up a poll on Twitter probably a few days after this episode's out, and we'll get you guys to vote on who you think had the best Russo rebooking. Are you going to go for Vince McMahon's illegitimate son being his own mother? Are you going to go for the return of David Arquette to Raw Underground? Are you going to go for Pope Steve Austin? Like, it's 3 very prestigious choices there, folks. So, like, just vote away. But
I mean, I'm going to vote for Dylan.
Yeah, I think I as well. Like, I think we all know the winner there, but next week we're going to be releasing the first ever fan submitted kayfabe tombola. That means that we need you listening to this podcast, to submit your 4 wrestling names and 4 situations for kayfabe tombola, where Dylan and I are going to have 60 seconds to try and come up with something that works. It's your chance to get yourself on the show, and we'll give you a shout out on the podcast if you send something in. So you can submit your kayfabe tombolas on Twitter at Making Kayfabe. You can email them to makingkayfabe@gmail.com, and we're looking forward to seeing what you can come up with, guys. It can't be worse than Gangrel punting Gene Snitsky out of the ring.
Oh, I love that. So please, guys, if you're sending in ideas for kayfabe tombola, don't send in Pope Steve Austin, because we've already done that on this episode.
Yeah,
you're thinking about putting in Pope Steve Austin, like,
you should copyright that.
We should actually. I'm going to get right on that. We've still got free sweet t-shirts live and ready to be worn at makingkayfabe.redbubble.com. There's the official Making Kayfabe Season 2 tee there, another tee based around thumb wrestling, some might say actually making kayfabe. And we just have just an extraordinary work of art, hand-drawn by yours truly, Bryce, which just has to be seen to be believed. So it's all at makingkayfabe.redbubble.com. And that's that. Like, thank you for joining us, Tyler. Have you got anything you want to plug today?
Only my bleeding heart after Dylan ruined wrestling for me in the most beautiful way. I'm in awe.
I've got to sit through Dylan ruin wrestling every week. I mean, and thank you to Dylan as well for joining us. But let's be honest, I don't need to thank him because he's contractually obligated to be here. Yay!
I shouldn't have signed that contract, man. It was the stupidest thing I ever did.
Now you're booking it like Russo.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, this episode's going out on December 29th, so have a great new year when it comes, folks. Stay safe. Happy New Year, everyone.